the Trevor Jackson Podcast.
What's going on, Steve?
What's up, Bart?
Man, we just chilling, man. Check this record out for me.
Bill collectors at my door. What can you do for me? Hey!
Are you about to start? You gonna spit 16 bars?
Yeah.
Oh, listen to it. Oh, damn. How long is it gonna take before she come in, man?
Yeah, I was just trying to fill in the intro, man.
Okay.
No romance without finance. No romance without finance. Boy, nothing in life is free. That's why I'm asking you, what can you do for me? I've got responsibilities, so I'm looking for a man who's got some money in his hand.
Off the first listen to that, what's your thoughts of what she was saying?
You gotta have some cash if you want to eat that ass, man.
That now where does that ideology come? No, her first words was no romance without finance.
Yeah.
You gotta have a J-O.
Yeah, well, it also talked at the beginning, like, you need rent money and shit. So, it's
Oh.
depending on the situation you're coming from, and finances are more important than love or anything else. And so, it's a transactional thing.
Yeah, and
But shit, up until in the last 40 years, that's what marriage was based on. Love was financial, or it's like a business transaction. This whole love bullshit didn't come around until the 40s, 50s.
that your wife or your husband, that needs to be your best business partner.
Yeah.
Let's listen to a little bit more of the record. Let's go.
You got to have something if you want to be with me. All night.
Silence in the court.
Love's too mysterious. A fly girl like me needs security. 'Cause ain't nothing going on but the rent. You got to have a J-O-B if you want to be with me. Ain't nothing going
Goddamn right.
on but the rent. You got to have a
So should it be like that on the other end too? Should the man feel like that about the woman?
That depends on the position you're in my opinion. Right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, another dude, like, if I was a younger man, if I'd have had, like, a rich older woman be like, hey, fuck me and I'll take care of you, I'd be like, fucking game on.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Me
Right?
too. Yeah.
Especially, earlier in my life, struggling to pay rent and bills and shit. Like, yeah, you want to pay my shit? Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And I understand it's different as a dude, right, than as a female, because it's weird if you're like that as a male. It's just like, oh yeah, of course you fuck something for money.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
as a female, it's like, oh, you're a whore. You're gonna switch it out, and it's a straight double standard. I understand why it's a double standard, but it is a double standard.
You understand why it's a double? I don't understand why, but I kind of do. Is it because we're the inserter and they're the insertee?
I think that's what it comes down to, and then
okay.
just culturally throughout, the past, especially in like a Victorian, the culture with our weird rules on sex and all that shit that's come from, all that stuff. It's especially like purity is so important in a woman. Like men are expected, like, oh yeah, men are dirty fucking whores, but it's because it's a woman's fault if a man sins sexually. Going by the church, I'm not saying that's how.
Because she gave it to him,
right? Or like the way how often, like, I don't know if you grew up in church or not. I have. We talked about this. But it's like, as a woman, you don't dress in a way that can cause a man to lust after you. I was like, but where's the accountability for the motherfucking dude to be like, you know what? I'm not gonna stare at that shit.
Yeah, but it should be accountability on both ends. But
It should be.
At the end of the day, it's not going to be. Especially times have changed from what is being preached in the Bible now, because women don't wear nothing but compression pants now.
Yeah, thank Jesus.
Yeah, but they do have those Velmas on nowadays. Also,
Yeah.
the 1970 style with the flare at the bottom.
Yeah.
We seen some of that just at the spot we just came from.
Yeah, right? I don't know. I again, it's a double standard, but I think most of that double standard comes from the sexual repression that
Sexual repression. Help me understand that, because you put the word repression on it. Now I don't know.
Yeah.
What's the sexual?
Meaning the normal human sexuality and desire is being like repressed or suppressed through usually church dogma or religious stigma and all that stuff that comes from that very old Protestant Church of England thing, you know, where it's like, oh, you can't have sex until you're married. You know, I don't know if you've heard like churches like, you can't jerk it, that's a sin.
I heard that plenty of times. A lot of churches talk about that, and a lot of people talk about that jerking off is a sin. I don't know about that.
Yeah, no.
But,
I think like jerking off on your cat's probably a sin.
Oh,
just, you know,
or in your cat. Yeah.
Or in
Ooh, I need a sense of that though.
It's
no animal cruelty on this podcast. We don't condone.
It's so tight.
We don't.
That's
we don't
that's some
condone.
tight pussy.
Yeah, that's extremely tight. Yeah. Ooh. But if it gets pregnant, it's gonna blow up because it's gonna have a human. Because it's not big enough to create Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guarantee you on all of the podcasts and shows that you've done, which is significant. It's amazing to me how much you've created. I guarantee this is the first time cat fucking's ever come up.
Oh yeah, it might not ever come up again, but cat skeeting in. I don't even know if it was getting penetrated. It was just getting the juices was getting inserted.
Oh no, it was getting penetrated.
We don't condone none of this being mentioned though. This podcast. What's the people that come after you with the fur? Peter.
PETA.
Yeah, they go come after the pod, man.
You're gonna lose all your listeners.
I'm sorry.
Or they're just gonna be like, fuck that guy. There's a reason this isn't filmed.
Oh, I apologize, y'all, man, that this is not a visual podcast. But soon me and Steve we're gonna do another one, man. And it's gonna be a visual situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, that's what's up, man.
Yeah. Well, you know too, like I'm down. I'll talk about anything, anytime. Nothing's off limits with me. You know this by now, though. A lot of your listeners.
Yeah. But they should know. We done did multiple podcasts together. If y'all don't know, this is my boy Steven from the B3F podcast.
Yes, sir.
Me and the Jackson boys, we jumped on their podcast a couple of times. We done collaborated a plethora of times, man. But this time we just sitting down having a dope conversation. We just came from eating some pretty good food at a brewery in downtown Charlotte.
Yeah.
And Steve had some crazy drinks, man. I never seen fruit beer.
Yeah, it was weird. Like I've had fruits like infused sour beer, but this one was like a beer smoothie, which I wasn't expecting. It was really good.
Yeah.
But after sitting, it just bubbled and kind of overflowed.
Yeah.
For a minute.
A fruit beer. And what was the last one? The
It was like
tangerine?
treetop something. It was like a tangerine sour. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I like stuff like that too, man. Right now I'm sorry I don't have no wine for Steve or nothing. I normally be drinking on the podcast. The B3F guys, they normally have drinks, but for some reason I'm going through my cleansing period.
I'm just drinking in your company.
Drinking in my company?
Drinking in. I'm putting your company inside of me.
Oh no! So you're intoxicated with my presence.
Yes.
Okay. That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
I feel appreciated.
Yeah,
man.
you should.
That's what's up, man. I feel highly appreciated. When we was out drinking and stuff, I was thinking about some things, and I didn't even know we was doing a podcast today, y'all. But I was just thinking about some cultural things while I was out with Steve. Y'all know me, my mind run rampant and stuff, and it's like something is weird is going on that I'm aware of. I don't even know if you're aware of this, Steve, but is freedom? Do you think freedom of speech is being challenged right now? 'Cause we both are content creators, podcasters.
Yeah.
We speak.
I think it's been challenged, been being challenged for a while. I feel like it's maybe worse, at least since I've been an adult. It's much worse than it used to be. But I mean, there's always been pockets of that, just because people don't like hearing things that they don't like. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then they want to stop people from saying things that hurt their feelings. But we've moved more and more into a time that I think that emotions have become more important than like logic or intent. And so, yeah, I feel like more so than it has been for sure.
Yeah. And the reason I'm thinking about that, because I'm thinking about like Kanye coming out as of recently with the anti-Semitic talk. That's what people saying that he's saying, but I kind of agree with what he's saying. It's just the way he said it.
Right.
And Alex Jones, you see that lawsuit? Did you?
I didn't see the lawsuit.
$1 billion.
Damn.
$1 billion lawsuit for the things that he said about the Sandy Hook children. And
Oh, yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, I heard about that, yeah. I didn't realize there was a big $1 billion lawsuit. But
He's not even net worth $1 billion.
Yeah, now that guy's a douche anyway, but that's neither here nor there as far as free speech is concerned.
But being a douche could have got him in that situation that he's involved in right now.
Right. Yeah. And no, it's a fine line. Like, freedom of speech is one thing, but there's also consequences to your speech that a lot of people, I don't think, take into account. And granted, I don't necessarily feel like there should always be legal recourse. Like, if you say some shit I don't like, or that I even feel like is slanderous towards me, as not as a business but as a person, right? Like, I'm not gonna sue you for that shit. I might punch you in the fucking mouth, you know what I mean? But therein is the consequence, right? Like,
Yeah, that was the consequence.
because when we were growing up, right, and again, not to be like, well, when I was their age, but
Yeah.
but really, there's a base level of respect for the most part. I'm not going to run my mouth to you if I don't know you, because you might be able to whip the shit out of me. And if I ran my mouth the wrong way, you might very well put my teeth in the back of my throat. Unless I'm willing to throw down, I'm not talking shit, man.
Yeah.
And that doesn't exist now because there's no consequence to running your fucking mouth.
It seemed like there's no consequences to
much
nowadays.
other than a $1 billion lawsuit.
And whew,
But I feel like it is. I mean, more and more, especially with comedians and cancel culture and stuff in general. I don't know if there's a legal attack against it, but there absolutely is a societal pushback against.
it's starting to be legal situations too, because it's a YouTube lady named Tasha K. She just got sued for $3 million for defamation of character of Cardi B, a hip hop artist.
Right.
And she's not even worth $3 million.
No.
But just the things that you say on these microphones.
Yeah.
The things that you speak out loud on camera on something that everybody's a content creator now. So the stuff that we normally don't hear, we hearing it loud and clear now. And now people are being in lawsuits. Yep. And losing.
That shit can bite you in the ass. That's one reason I talked to Joey, the other guy, B3F, is that if a lot of what the jokes that we make and talk about, or even like the joke we made about the cats a minute ago, take one clip out of that shit and throw it up on the internet, like, fuck you over, man. Bad.
Yeah, they can fuck you over real bad. And the way it fucks you over is that they take a clip and make a clip out of another clip and make you say something that was in context of something else, but a person got to listen to the whole complete.
Yeah, and nobody has time or is willing to put the time in to do that fact checking for themselves.
Yeah, because we living in that TikTok era, that
Yeah.
short era.
Can I ask you a question?
Talk to me.
How do you
please.
feel about people or like companies like Twitter or Facebook, whatever, like banning people for whatever they're talking, like Trump getting banned, or that's the most recent thing I can think of, but just in general, social media, like blocking or hindering people's free speech, so to speak?
I feel as if it's theirs. They can do what they want with it, but is it right? Nah, it's not right, because ain't that part of our Constitution as a
right
as a country? And then if we're a country that believe in biblical stuff too, it's biblical to the point to where your first power, your superpower, was just being able to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's what makes us different from other living beings, that we can speak.
Yeah.
So
except for parrots.
Parrots can talk.
they mimic, but yeah, I'm just being an asshole.
I wonder if they mimic other languages.
I don't know. Probably.
If I'm a Japanese and I say "otoyo," and a parrot say it back. I don't know. That's a good one though. That's a good thought.
But no, I'm with you. I feel like that if it's a business that someone owns, I feel like you can ban like speech, that type of, like a social media thing, right? Like I can be like, I don't like you. You're not on my club anymore. But to me, the line gets blurred when it starts becoming, and I don't know how the law looks at it. I'm not a lawyer, But in my mind, anyway, when something becomes a publicly traded company, then there should be different things that apply.
Yeah. So now, if you are representation like a Kanye West, he's a part of Adidas brand.
Yeah.
And he's a part of multiple brands. Like you were saying, it comes to a point to where if you're a legal company, if you're just involved in multiple companies, like if B3F had sponsorship with Budweiser,
right,
the Super Bowl, then the consequences matter of the things you say. Because
much more so, yeah.
we can release you. You know
Right.
what I mean? You ain't if your income ain't free and you ain't a free person, not in no contractual agreements with people, then you can not say some of the things. But a person like me, that everything comes from me, I could say what I want to. I might get canceled or whatever, or they might take me off their platforms, but then I could create my own platform.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird time we living in, and I don't know when the internet was created and people thought of these platforms, did they take that into consideration?
No.
Nah, they just created it.
They just created it. Well, because Facebook started out as just for school, like for colleges and shit. And then it grew, obviously, because it's like, oh, fuck, we can make money here. I mean, that's the motivation for any of it, is they start with this idea and then like, okay, this worked, let's monetize it.
And now they letting you monetize within the app.
Yeah.
If you're bringing enough traction to the platform. That's crazy.
It amazes me now how much advertising is done, like just through influencers and through just different people with followings. Like they advertise the shit out of things. There's some accounts that are set up that aren't verified or anything, that their whole like reason, it's just like some guerrilla advertising.
Yeah.
That's all they do.
But because they're getting traction, like the advertisers got the money.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever's getting traction, we need to be a part of it.
Yeah.
ASAP. The little doggy right here.
Yeah.
I heard her moaning. You heard her moaning on the microphone.
Well, I don't see, where's your hand, dude? Where's your hand? I don't see. I'm just
I thought you messed me up with that. Oh, I'm not doing that. No, Peter, leave us alone. He just playing. We cooling right now. We cooling, man. What's your thoughts on this though? I don't want to just make it back question back and forth. We just having a good conversation.
Yeah, man.
About old friends and new friends, man. Like, I know I think I talked to you about this before, but when I think about old friends and new friends, like, are you receptive to meeting and having new friends come into your life? Is that something that interests you? Or are you just cool with the old ones?
Well, see, I have one friend. I mean, as far as like Joey is like basically, like I've known him for whatever. Like I have other people I've known for a long time, and I feel like I have friendly acquaintances. But really, like as far as like the guys I knew growing up, I don't talk to any of those motherfuckers. I really don't for the most. Like occasionally, like a hey, how's it going, type of thing. But and I'm not opposed to making new friends, but I don't look to make new friends. If it just happens, then it happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't feel like I have time for that shit. A and B, and you know me better than most people do, believe it or not. As far as in my adulthood, but in general, I just don't like talking to people. I don't like people anymore. Like, I mean, more and more so as I'm older. Like, my wife gives me a hard time. I shouldn't say gives me a hard time, but she would like to go out and do more. And like when I get fuck home, like I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to chill. And
I can relate to that.
I don't like being around crowds. I don't like being around people.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I'm a narcissist and I like people to like tell me how great I am, but I don't like going out and being around those people. I just want to sit home and people put on my.
Yeah. I can relate to that because I don't like people neither though. Right. To be honest, I'm not I love people. Yeah. Don't get it twisted. Now I love people, but I don't like people. And it's because, like, the reason I asked you old friends, new friends thing is because...
I got sidetracked, sorry.
Nah, you didn't. It was good. You brought me right back around. The reason I asked you that is because, like, I like meeting new friends because all my old friends try to keep me where I'm at, where they remember me as.
Okay.
And if meeting new friends, you can continue to elevate. You can continue to grow and think and meeting new people is just more.
Or you can be somebody else entirely.
You can be somebody else entirely. You can be a whole totally.
Yep.
You can be who you want to be instead of who you really are.
Yeah. Or who you used to be.
Or who you used to be.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And then, like, me saying about old friends trying to keep you where you was or where they remember you, that part of your life might have been something that they celebrate about you, but it could have been a traumatic experience for you.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I like it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm speaking about myself, really.
Right.
Because people say, oh, I remember we used to do this and do that. We used to get money, all the girls and this and that. And that whole time was a traumatic experience for me.
Yeah. Or
It
a time,
wasn't
or a time you were ashamed of or weren't proud of who you were. Like, I mean, not lightened with traumatic, but I mean, it can be I see what you're saying. It can be a number of things. Yeah.
Yeah. I was happy of who I was and I liked the person I was, but the experience was just a traumatic situation.
Gotcha.
And every time I talk to a lot of people from my past lifestyle or who remember who was present in my life at that moment, when I talk to them now, that's all they talk about.
Gotcha.
Because I don't know if they happy with themselves or they got something going on, but it's not I like new friends because the conversation and the experience that I can have with them can go further.
Right.
It seemed like the highlights with past friends already happened and it's over. And we can't move. We stagnant in our conversation. We can't move forward with something new.
Right. I think that's a lot of just humans' innate desire for nostalgia and comfort, right? Because, like, if I'm comfortable with you and we've known each other for however long, like, this is how I know you. If you start changing, then that makes me uncomfortable because you're different than how you used to be. And I feel like that's hard to accept when you're nostalgic about a certain point in your life or a point in your friendship. Maybe in this point in your life, like, we were closer than we are now. And so if I remember you that way, I remember you in a way that we're closer and how I'd like us to be as opposed to where we're going now. Because if you're going in one way in your life and I'm going in another way in my life, right, there's this separation here that you don't have that you miss, in my opinion.
And missing is a past tense thing. That's not being present with the time. So I can understand that, but
you associate the person with the times that you enjoyed. Like, if they enjoyed, like I said, you back in the day, it was girls and this and this and that. Maybe they just missed the girls, and you were their partner in crime in that, and that's the thing, the part that they're hanging on to. The not even thinking about how the rest of it might have been for you. It's just that one part for them, and you were a character in that play.
And that's what made them happy. Ooh, that's deep, though, Steve. I like that, man. You helping me figure this thing out, man.
And see, like, for me and Joey, like, going back to the old friends, I've never had that because he's always known what a piece of shit I am, so I can continue to be a piece of shit in whatever direction I evolve in, and he's fine with it. But our thing, we've always said that the secret to a good long-term friendship is I don't expect anything from him, and he doesn't expect anything from me.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
so, like, I have no emotional ties to anything. Like, if I'm having a bad day, I'm not going to fucking call him because he's going to be like, I don't give a shit. Because that's how I'm like, we get along. And if he ever called me and was like, hey, man, I need your help moving, I'll fucking be there tomorrow. Like, I'm fine with it because it's what you do, right? That's what friends are. Yeah. But there's no emotional responsibility for his happiness that I carry around with me.
Ooh, you just said a key word that's been on my mind lately, too. It's not an emotional attachment for his happiness. Yeah. So, we both married men, right? We both married men.
3 times over on this side, baby.
Ooh, big pimpin'. Are you Jay-Z, man? Big pimpin'.
I'm just really shitty at relationships. Good at fucking terrible at being in relationships. That's what it boils down to.
Oh, so you like cardio. But happy. We both married men. Are men forced to make their wives happy, or is happiness a choice? Because I have a lot of conversations with people recently about happiness, and I personally feel like it's a choice. Mm-hmm. It's not my responsibility to make you happy. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
I concur. I mean, I feel like as a partner in the relationship, I want them to be happy, and I try to do things to make them happy, but ultimately the happiness is her responsibility. She can choose whether to accept those things or not. And I'm not obligated to make her happy. Like, to me, to have a healthy relationship, and this isn't how it's looked at by most people. Most people, it's like their job is you make each other happy as a marriage. you give 100%, you give 100%, and we're just, no, that shit doesn't work that way. Like, there's some days I'm giving fucking 10% and she's giving 90, and then sometimes it's the other fucking way around.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I don't expect her to make me happy. Like, I like when she makes me happy and does things that make me happy, because like anyone else, it makes you feel important or whatever.
Appreciated or
Right.
whatever. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, not her job, right? Like, I have to find a way to be happy. Like, I've always looked at it as if she wasn't in my life and I never met her and I was just alone and single, who's going to make me happy? No fucking body. It's my job to make myself happy. And just because I'm in a relationship now, I'm sharing a life with somebody, but that doesn't change the fact that my internal happiness is my own fucking choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's true, man. Because like I heard you speaking about it from your perspective though, but do women feel like that though? Because women feel like sometimes a materialistic woman or a woman who wants to celebrate every holiday or you know what I mean? They feel as if it's like he ain't making me happy.
Right. But then that's a perspective problem.
That's their problem, man. It's not yours.
It's 100% theirs. And there's ways to me, it's a very immature way to look at something. Right. And that's how we're raised or how societally we were brought up, whatever. But it's a pretty common mindset, I think. And a lot of it's a hard cycle to break, right? To have that mindset, and it takes communication, and it takes breaking that fucking thing down, and because a lot of times don't even realize that that's how they're looking at it. Like, he just don't try to make me happy. He's not trying. He's not this. He's not that. And you're like, fuck. Like, what do you want me to do? You know?
Yeah.
Like, my first wife was really bad about, well, you never spend enough time with me, so I'd be home more. She's like, well, you don't make enough money. You need to work more. I was like, well, fuck, I can't work
because you want me
3
here.
jobs and then spend more time. Like, it's pick fucking one. You know what? I can't do both. And if I have 4 hours between jobs, I'm not sitting and staring in your eyes lovingly. I'm fucking sleeping. You know what I mean? You know, I don't know. I feel like that is more ingrained in females than it is in males, but it doesn't make it any less applicable.
But men should know how to communicate that, though.
100%.
Because if you don't know how to communicate that, she's going to always think that, and you're going to allow her to continue to think that he ain't making me. It's your choice.
But some of that, to me, people make the mistakes of not having those conversations early in the relationships. And by the time they have them, like, expectations have been set, patterns of behavior have been built, and those are much harder to break after they've been in place.
Ooh.
Like, if you're a dude, and just going with your example, and you have basically lived to serve this woman, right? And you've done everything you can, and her happiness rests you. Well, you've set that pattern, right? Like, you've reinforced her belief that that's your job.
Yeah.
And then you're going to suddenly stop doing that job. Well, then you're a fucking dick. You know what I mean? Like, that's when you start having to talk, like you said, and communicate. And nothing's easy. It's not like you have one conversation and suddenly your mindset's changed.
Yeah, because you might have to be repetitive, because I catch myself doing that, and my wife doing that to me a lot. Like, sometimes people have to be repetitive to make you understand what's being said to them, so you can relate to it, or you might could obtain the information that they're trying to convey to you.
Right.
For real.
And sometimes you have to, like, for yourself, if I'm trying to talk to you, like, I have to find a better way to say what I'm trying to say for it to click in the way you like. Part of knowing you, right, or knowing who you're with, is learning how they think, right? And then tailoring how you communicate to help them to convey what you're wanting to say.
Yeah.
Right? Because if it's kind of like you can yell at a kid all day long, but if they don't understand why the fuck you're yelling at them, then it's not going to do any good, right?
Yeah, they will keep playing.
And not trying to compare a woman to a kid, but that type of relationship, like if you're, or vice versa, if your wife or girlfriend, whatever, is just bitching at you all the time, you just zone that shit out, because it's the same thing over and over and over and over. Whereas if she would change her method of communication, you might be more receptive to it.
Yeah.
If you can let your fucking ego down. That's a big thing for us dudes, man, is getting checked with some shit and setting our ego aside and realize that we fucked up somewhere.
Why is it so hard for men, though? It seems like the challenge with ego with men in comparison to women is times 10, because some women can humble themselves quicker,
right,
than men. But
there's also the adage of women never, wife's never wrong type of thing,
Happy wife, happy life. That is the worst statement ever made.
But I think it's twofold in men. Like, we have a harder time admitting we're wrong with another dude. But a woman, just so we can fucking get some vagina, we'll be like, oh, I was wrong. I'm sorry, sweetie.
Yeah.
Like we in our minds we might be like, now fuck, I was right the whole time, but we also want to get laid, so we're gonna do what we got to do.
Apologize immediately. You won. You won.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sorry I missed.
But I think ego is such a powerful thing in people in general, and I hate the whole ego id, all that bullshit. I mean, it helps to make sense of things, but it's dumb. But go ahead. Sorry.
Nah, I'm listening.
I'm running my mouth, man.
No, I'm appreciative of it, man, because you got my brain beaming. Like I wonder why ego is so important to Steve though, because it's important to me, but I know what it means and what ego is, but I haven't really broke down what being egotistical is though.
You haven't, or you have?
I haven't.
Yeah. To me, ego is just because it's inherent. It's self-preservation at its core, in my opinion. Because to me, if you admit, like, if you admit that you're faulty, like really, really admit it, it means there's something wrong, and therefore you're not in control, and therefore you've been wrong about 1,000 other things. And I think we have a really big need as humans to have control over our situations. And when our ego gets bruised or hurt, then we suddenly are losing some control that we thought we had. And this is just my opinion. Like, I'm talking out my ass at this moment, but to me, it's just like, it's hard. The ego is so powerful because it's a controlling factor. Because especially as a male, your perception of me, not necessarily with me, but another dude's perception of me is more important to me than a random female's perception of me. Right? It's that whole alpha male thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to be perceived as weak. I don't want to be perceived as a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be perceived as some dude that doesn't have his shit together, or whatever the case may be, right? And when you do lack in that, like for me growing up in the South, I was never into sports. I was never into cars, like any of that shit. And so like I was automatically a level down below most of the other like tough guys, right? Because like, you don't watch fucking sports. What the fuck are you? Some kind of queer?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, fuck you. I'll beat your ass. And so like I compensated like, the other way around, because that perception, I didn't want to be perceived that. My ego does not want to be perceived as weak or as less than or whatever. And I think that's just human nature. And so then admitting fault in a relationship, you're suddenly saying, oh, I'm less than you.
Wow. That is true. And I'd never looked at ego in that way that you talking about, like viewing yourself as less than, or somebody viewing you as less than another man. I looked at ego as me being selfish.
Yeah, and there's a level of selfishness to it, because why do I care about your perception of me?
That's true.
It's selfish that I care.
Yeah, because I shouldn't care. It shouldn't even have no effect on me or my day or my thoughts of you or anything.
And I'm thick-skinned. I mean, I'm an asshole from the word go. But there are certain things at certain times I'm like, most things will fucking slide right off my back. I like when people don't like me to a point. Like, I don't know why. It's just, but I think it's that compensating on the other side of things, right? Because I was never liked as a younger kid. And so it's like, yeah, fuck you. You don't like me? Good. So it's its own source of ego for me.
That's crazy. We had totally different like upbringings and stuff.
Yeah. Now, as I got older, I didn't have that perception. But when I was younger, like 15, 16 years old, yeah. But I was beanpole, super skinny. I didn't hit my growth spurt until I was like 16.
Yeah.
But then I was super awkward. I'd had none of that. So I was, these dudes that are 16 years old and they're fucking 200 pounds playing football and doing all this shit. Like,
they got all the girls and the muscles and the muscle cars.
Yeah. And then I hit my late 20s and started slaying vagina. And all you guys are getting fat from being 400 pounds of pure muscle. And that shit just goes away. And I'm still skinny and playing a guitar. Like, fuck you, I'll take your girl.
Yeah, that's crazy how life does that, though. They say it's like the nerdy kid, the guy or whatever, turns into the hunk after school, and then
or they're making all the money.
That's true. That is true.
Which brings back full circle to the song that you played.
The man that can purchase the.
Well, because one of the most important things for a woman is security.
Break it down.
No, okay. No, to me, the meaning, and again, I think this is societal for America specifically, and how a lot of our women are raised, but there's a big dependence on men. Less so now, that's changing a lot, but so if you have a stable job and you have the money to take care of her, then she doesn't have to worry about other problems, right? Like,
Yeah.
And so, but then when you start getting these strong independent women and that's mixed in a little bit from how they were raised, then it's just a clusterfuck.
Yeah, that's true.
But like I can say my wife, she grew up like dirt fucking poor, like Texas trailer trash, redneck, like barely had food, like super, super poor.
Yeah.
And so it's even more now that I'm older and I'm doing better financially than I've ever done. Like over the last 4 years, really. And just because I worked my dick off and gotten lucky, a few times, but but because of that, like even now, even though we're more financially secure than we've ever been, there's still sometimes she gets really paranoid about money stuff. And I'm like, we're fine. We can order food tonight. Like it's totally cool. And she's like, are you sure? But that security is very, very important to her. And the amount that I make isn't important to her, but us having stability is, because she didn't have that at all growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of Christian households, too, you're raised to be like, well, you're dependent on the man. The important thing is that you take care of him and meet his needs. And his job is to be the breadwinner and to take care of you and to provide for the family. And, and so I think having that background, like if you're raised in that and you have a husband or spouse that's not fulfilling that role, then you feel really insecure in your relationship because they're not doing their part.
But should it be their part, though? Or is that just how the United States is set up and that's just how we're programmed?
I think it's how we're programmed. Again, that's changing a little bit. Like you're married to a very strong, independent woman.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so am I. And I mean, those things change, but they also they can cause some turmoil and issues, because a lot of the times until you're in that relationship, you don't realize some of that shit's ingrained in you. And then it starts coming out, and then you're like, ah, fuck.
Oh, I didn't know this even existed inside of me. Yeah.
Or especially when you get married later or older, because you're set in your ways. By that time, you've established how you're doing. And we're always evolving, but there's still certain ways you do certain fucking things.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have somebody else in your life that does things completely fucking different. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what is happening right now?
And that comes back to like when you was talking about friendship.
Yeah.
Just letting, like you were saying, you and Joey, y'all friends because y'all just let each other do whatever y'all want to. I feel as if it should be like that in a marriage also.
It should be. And there's got to be trust and all that stuff. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, like, and I will say one thing I'm grateful for, and you won't hear me say nice things very often, but no, I'm grateful. Like my wife and I are like really good friends. We were really good friends from the get-go, and we've worked hard to maintain that just as much, if not more, than the married shit, right? Because if we actually like each other, the other stuff's a lot easier to deal with than if I'm just like coming home and be like, fuck, I hate you. I'm so sick of your bullshit. And there's still sometimes, you want to come home and you're like, ah, fucking hell. Yeah. But you're gonna have to have a profanity label in this. I guarantee you, I cuss more than almost any person.
We allowing all the cuss.
Oh, I know we allow it, but I'm just saying, I say fuck a lot.
Me too.
And goddamn, I never realized I've had two people or more than one person be like, hey, you say goddamn it. It's like, it sounds like it's forced. I'm like, no, it's just how it's just you've hung out with me off mic.
Yeah,
I talk.
It comes. It's just easy.
Yeah, but anyway, relationships. Most of the problems I feel like is just from a lack of communication or unwillingness to admit that you could be wrong or that you could change. Right? Like I don't want to. Say we're in a relationship together, Trevor.
Yes, sir.
Like, I shouldn't want to change you. I should encourage you to be better and to change for the better, but I shouldn't require you to change to make me happy.
Yeah, that's true. Because happiness is a choice. I got to choose that first, and then I got to allow you to be yourself and appreciate you for who you are. Yeah. And then, that's making me think of people in relationships and people that's dealing with unhappiness in their relationships. Because people are not allowing them to be who they really are. No. They're trying to change them and make them into something that they like.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times, man, and I can tell you this from buddies of mine, like you get in a relationship, and I've always told when somebody's getting serious, and like my oldest, like the shit that you get in a relationship with that you find cute, like quirks that you find cute, will drive you fucking crazy 10 years from now. Like you've just got to accept that that's how it is. And if you can't stand that shit, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because most people, I feel like, just because they've been together, they don't know what to do, they get married, and they have no business being
and
married.
they stay together even though both of them are miserable.
And to me, that's not worth it, man. Life's too fucking short. And people be like, well, you can't just, relationships aren't disposable. They fucking 100%
Everything is disposable. There's a trash can for everything.
Well, my thought with like relationships being disposable, like my argument for that is like, how many people a day do you walk by, never even fucking look at them? How many people do you say hello to and you never think about them again? That's a relationship you just threw the fuck away.
That's true.
So basically what you're meaning is the things you have an emotional attachment to aren't disposable, but they absolutely fucking are too.
Yeah.
You know?
And that goes for in all aspects, friendships, relationships, situationships.
Right. Yeah. Well, I feel like that, like you were talking about selfishness and ego. Like a lot of people view selfishness as a bad thing, and I don't. I think selfishness is healthy to embrace it and to realize what it is. Now, selfishness at the expense of somebody else's well-being. I'm not talking about happiness. I'm talking about well-being. Like if my selfishness fucks you over and causes you to lose your job.
Yeah.
Nah, that's a very negative thing. But if my selfishness causes me to take care of myself better and grow and to become a better person, because I'm like saying no and throwing some relationships or shit away that I don't need, then yeah, be fucking selfish.
And what's crazy about you saying that selfishness, you don't view selfishness as a bad thing, is that I just got through reading a book by Ayn Rand called The Virtue of Selfishness. And it was talking about like how you have to be selfish.
Yep, to be healthy.
Yeah, you being selfish is mandatory. It's necessary. It's something that has to be done for transitional periods of your life.
Yep.
Because we all go through transitions in our life to where you could be doing something today and it could just totally, your whole life can totally flip tomorrow. And when I was reading that book, it's crazy you said that because I just got through reading it yesterday. Selfishness, like when I think about it, I think of the period I'm in my life right now. Like you probably the only other person besides super immediate family that I've communicated with since the beginning of October, but I made a decision that I want to like just heal, take time to heal in all aspects. Not no wuss shit like I'm a weak and I'm buried, like I'm battered and I'm
no, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
But I wanted to take some time, some selfishness time, and I can feel myself growing and healing and being a better person because I'm being selfish right now. People that's really my friends and really can't communicate with me right now, can't even get in touch with me, but I still love them. It's just that at this point in time, I feel like I need to be selfish. And what I want to ask you is that I think that every man has to have that space in their life from time to time.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's important because inherently, and I feel like biologically, like we're social creatures, but we're not as much. Like we're pack creatures, but we're not necessarily like, especially as a dude, like I like to go off by myself. Like, yeah, and for me, again, I'm wired a little different. Like I got some mental health shit that's to the side with bipolar, and like I'm legitimately antisocial personality disorder, which is being a sociopath essentially. Like I don't have normal range of emotion. I don't have normal human connection like a lot of people. So, but in general, I think men, they need that space to stretch their legs and I'm not talking about like going off and doing crazy shit, but like you need some space, right?
Yeah,
and if you're in how many relationships, taking it back to that, have you seen that the dude's just always smothered? Like they're all in this pocket, and how miserable are they? Because they never get the fuck out.
The only place they living in is inside their head.
Yep.
Because they ain't living outside their body in the real world because they smothered by.
And those are the dudes that go out for milk and never come home.
They live in Montana somewhere.
Right.
Just in the trees and the mountains.
I know so many dudes in those situations. They're just fucking trapped. Like their wife yells at them for everything. And be like, dude, you've built that house. Like you have created that for yourself.
That's crazy. I don't have children, but do you think that my wife coming in? I got the garage.
Yeah, it's garage. Quick, we gotta be quiet. We gotta be quiet.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta make it.
So what were you saying about your wife? No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Nah, don't say that because she might be coming up the stairs here shortly. But I don't forgot what we was talking about now, and I got sidetracked by the garage.
Building, you're saying something with kids. We were talking about building your own.
I don't have kids, but what you was saying just now about like you created that house, I be feeling like kids are a reflection of their environment and the people that they around and the parents and the way they was raised and stuff, and that gets spooky, man, because how often do we like? Do you care about how you are when you're in the presence of your kids or your wife or stuff? Do you care about how they perceive you to be in when they're in your presence?
Somewhat, yeah. Like I can tell you, like with my wife at home, I cuss way less at home because she does not like the word "God damn it."
Yeah,
and I mean I'm pretty loose with everything else, but just out of respect for her, I don't as much because I care about that perception. With my kids, I don't cuss around my kids at all because to me, I want to be a good example for them. Not that I feel like there's anything wrong with cussing, but I've told them before because they're their mom and everything, they all whatever. And I told them, like, listen, to me, if you can think it but not say it, like that's an important filter. It's a skill set to learn. Like if you want to cuss, I got no problem with you cussing, but it's time and a place.
That's crazy that you say that because I'm hearing that it's two things in our head talking at the same time at all times.
Yeah.
Because you said you can think it, but you don't have to say it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that means that it's a mind and a brain in there, but it's two things working, and you just got to be able to work your way around it or whatever.
Yeah. But perception for me and how I'm wired is very important because one of the only things that really means a lot to me is how I'm perceived by other people. Depending on what that perception is, varies from person to person.
Is that an ego?
It's partially ego, partial sociopath.
So it's
Narcissist.
impossible to not have an ego.
Oh yeah, 100%. Anybody that says otherwise is full of shit, and they have a massive ego that they're hiding.
A massive.
Well, it's like, think about people that are like really selfless, like people with bad martyr syndrome. They're just doing that shit because it makes them feel better. The people that are like, oh, I'll do anything, I'll do whatever, and they're suffering constantly. Well, they're having some internal shit. Like to them, their suffering is their persona. It's who they are.
And they're getting their dopamine fix by perceiving to be selfless when they're really not.
I don't believe in true selflessness. With the with the exception of in the moment, I'm not thinking about it. I throw myself in front of a bullet for your ass. That was a selfless thing because I did it before I thought.
That was an act.
That was an act. It was a selfless act. But
But
anything I'm doing for you, it's either because I want something or it's making me feel good to do it.
I'm receiving something from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. I agree with that.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But people won't acknowledge that a lot of times. Like, oh, no, I just do good because I like doing good. Like, no, you don't, motherfucker.
I'm just good. Yeah, I'm just happy all the time.
Right.
I'm doing good. I will do anything for you. You can have my last cheeseburger. Oh. A little exercise. A little mouth cardio.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, man, it's crazy. But like, even with the kids, like one of my things, because with my shit, like I've never wanted my kids to have some of the same shit that I have, like, because it sucks. As much as I can joke about it, there's some bullshit that goes with it. It makes day-to-day life, if I want to hold a job and all that stuff, really fucking difficult. So it's shit I never wished on them. But I also want to show them that you can have some shit wrong with you and be able to function in life and not use it as an excuse not to function. I mean, there are things like people with like severe paranoid schizophrenia, right? Like they can't function in life and it's not their fault. It's just how they are. But a lot of people, especially nowadays, use their mental illness as an excuse to get away with shit or not. Like, I can't go to work because my anxiety is really high.
I said those crazy things
and
on this.
I'm really depressed.
Yeah.
It's like, bitch, you got to feed kids. Get the fuck up and go to work.
Yeah. People depended on you.
Yep. Like, I can't afford, like, I'm granted, and to me, like, for me, and it's harder for some people than others, but like, I go to a site because I have to with the VA. I'm medicated and all that shit, but I have to have that to function, and I recognize that.
Yeah.
Like, I would like, don't get me wrong, I miss sometimes not being medicated and just the crazy shit, but I was also miserable. You know what I mean? Like, there's pros and cons. I missed some of the shit, but I don't miss the misery of it. So it's worth not having some of the really cool shit to be stable and functional to me.
But functional is important, man.
Yeah.
And whatever you dealing with and doing in life is it's a plethora of ways that you cannot function.
Yeah.
And it could be something simple and it could be something severe at the end of the day. And everybody is dealing with something that they just might
Always.
not make themselves aware of it, but it's every person that's hindering themselves in a way.
100%. And I also, like, anything like that is not an excuse to be a dick to other people. And I see that a lot. People are like, "Oh, I'm just like this because of this." Like, no, you control how you talk to people. Like,
Yeah.
to me, there's a baseline of respect, right? That's shown, bar none. You can either lose that respect or you can build on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I start here, and I'm never an asshole if I'm even if I'm having a shitty day. Like, I've never once been with my kids be like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, they're my kids, right? Like,
Yeah.
and there's times I want to fucking drown them in a pool, or like, you should have been aborted. But as a whole, but they're here and I do the best that I can. And to me, it's not doing them any favors and it's not going to make me feel good to be a dick. So, and that's important shit for them to learn. Like I told you I drove up to see my daughter today and I had to stomp a hole in her ass because she's just been, she doesn't act like it at my house because I won't fucking put up with it. Like I'm strict, but she's just been like screaming at her mom, like getting her mom's face and just acting like.
How old is she now though?
14.
Oh.
But I went up there and I jerked it on her. I was like, no, like I don't care what the fuck you have gone. You don't talk to your mom that way. I don't care how mad your mom makes you. I don't care whatever. You don't do it. Like I don't care. I don't care what your reasons are. If you need help, talk to me. We'll get help. We can discuss things. But you're not doing this bullshit. And it's like you're about to be very uncomfortable in life if this doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, because I can tell you right now, and I told her this today. If I said, your mom and I are divorced, like we're not even close, but if I heard a grown man talking to you how you talk to your mom, I'd knock his fucking teeth in.
So they let her know where she's
Yeah.
staying.
And her eyes got about this big. And I was like, I'd never hit you. But I'm just saying that's how bad this is.
Yeah.
This is how disrespectful you're being.
Yeah.
And anyway, I don't know. That was total tangent, man. Total tangent.
14. Whew, that's that age. Boy.
Yeah. If
That's
I can keep her off the pole, man, I'll be happy.
Nah, you'll keep her off the pole. Ain't no poles in North Carolina.
Well, no good poles.
This ain't Atlanta or Miami. that's poles.
Tassels and shit, man.
Nah, but 14, I can.
Well, I tried to tell her.
How was you at 14? Let's go now,
dude. You're not gonna believe. I was so straight laced and so scared of getting in trouble and all that shit. Like I was.
You got ass whoopers as a kid.
I got the shit kicked out of me as a kid, man. But my sister, total opposite. Like we've switched places. She was wild. She got arrested, in high school and did all that shit. And I was just like perfect kid, toe of the line, good grades, like all that shit. And then we've completely swapped. But I was really involved in church and all this other stuff. I went to, I don't know if I told you, I went to Bible school. I was a full-time pastor for a minute. And, but now we've swapped. She's all in church, family, kids, all that shit. And I'm like, my parents are like, if, your problems would just go away if you'd get right with Jesus. Like, yeah. I'm like, that's not how chemical imbalances work, but sure.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah. If you just get right with Jesus, everything will be all right.
Yep. And I have a whole new thing on religion and all that stuff.
Me too. I do too. I'm getting.
I'll talk about it all day, but fuck.
Nah, we don't have to talk about that. We don't have to get religious. We don't have to get religious or political.
So how's your relationship with our Lord and Savior?
He's wonderful. Don't make me start singing church.
Okay, so complete side note, that just made me you singing that. So my daughter had a recital or a band recital, like junior high band, whatever, and they had the choral team or whatever that sings, does all their shit, and then the band played. It was like a whole concert for the different stuff. The chorus, that's what they call it. They did all their songs, and the last one, like the lady, I don't know, she said something, if you want to sing along and clap or whatever, and they sang a fucking like gospel Christian song at the school recital, and I was like, if my daughter was in chorus, like I would have had a shit fit.
They sung a gospel song in school. I thought you can't have religion.
I know, and not like what's the South, man. But and I'm not talking about in a small town, very small town, and I'm not talking about like it'd be one thing if it was like some cool arrangement of like some old like Swing Low Sweet Chariot, like an old traditional. Got less problem with that, but it was like a more modern Christian song. And I'm like, you can't fucking do that. I was like, that's just some, I don't know. It got under my skin more than it should have.
Do you think they should put religion back in church or keep it removed? I mean, religion back in school or keep it removed?
Nah, keep that shit far removed.
Yeah. I heard a wife in the door.
I did too.
You heard that?
Yeah.
Do I need to take a break and play the song?
If you need to, man,
So
do
I
your
can-
thing. It's your
so
show.
I can mute them.
It's your show. I'm just here.
No. This is our show, my brother. This is our show. Steve, let me play some music for y'all, man. We coming right back on, though, in about 30 to 45 seconds. This is The Recipe, Babyface and Money Long. Jill.
And if the beat live, you know Lil Juke made it.
Walk in the door, Louis on the floor. Soon as I get home, first thing you asked me, why you been going through my phone? I was like, what? You was like, what? I was like, boy, I ain't got time. Have you lost your mind? Are you trying to make me lose mine? Focused on my paper every day. All you do is argue and complain. When you gon' quit playing in my face? Just leave me alone, I need some space. Oh, soon as I get home, light me some candles, turn the lights down low. Soon as I get home, just take a sip and take it nice and slow. Soon as I get home, you can't keep pressing me and think you'll get the best of me. Soon as I get home, baby, quit stressing me. I'm giving you the recipe. The recipe.
Hey, I really enjoyed that record, man. Babyface dropped that album today. He a OG, man. Have you heard of Babyface before?
Yeah.
How he still dropping albums? How old is Babyface? He about 60, ain't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he just dropped the album. What's today? Saturday, Friday, called
Oh, shit.
Girls Night Out with all the up to date modern ladies on there, and he just him and a
Oh,
whole bunch
shit.
of ladies on there singing.
As it should be.
It's a dope album, man. I like females, man.
So do I.
I like women.
Yeah. They're all right.
Yeah, but we back, man. What's going on with the La Familia, man? If y'all tuned into this podcast, man, make sure that you support the boy, subscribe or whatever they tell us to do, like, share the show. I like cash apps though.
Use the hashtags too, man.
Oh, I do.
No, not you. People that share. Use the fucking hashtag.
Hashtag the Trevor Jackson podcast. Hashtag the B3F podcast, man. We got some. Are we breaking that news on?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I haven't talked to Joey about it, but I don't fucking care.
Okay. When y'all coming back soon, man?
Yeah, so I left and was planning on being done.
Okay.
Even though he called it a hiatus. So it ended up, asshole was right.
Yeah.
But we haven't been on, he did a few solo episodes after I left.
Yeah, he did a lot with a lot of European cats and shit too, man.
Well, every other weekend, we still host that. They call it Something for the Weekend. He does a show with some guys in the UK.
Yeah. I love Joey, man. I hate their voice after 30 minutes.
Yeah, but no, his solo shows fucking sucked, though. Don't even lie like they were good. They were terrible. They were boring as shit.
I don't think he likes talking to himself. What is Joey an extrovert or an introvert?
I kind of a mix. More of an introvert, I think. But the thing is with the shows is he went into him just to talk. He didn't have an outline. He didn't have anything to talk about. So he just kind of rambled about shit and his kids. Stuff that nobody gives a fuck about.
I tried to help him out too, man. I was on there commenting and stuff to keep him going.
Yeah.
But I think he could, I do a show by myself.
Yeah.
But I don't do it live.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to. That shit has to be formatted.
Mm-hmm.
You do a live on by yourself, looking at the screen, waiting on.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't do that.
No, I always gave him shit. Though. I was like, dude, this sucked. That was terrible. I'm the only good thing about the show. But no, it's honestly our back and forth in the chemistry and stuff. But anyway, so we decided after the first of the year, January, we're gonna pick it back up on a monthly basis.
I would like that, man. And I'm excited about it too, man. And if y'all listening to this podcast, man, go subscribe to the B3F podcast so y'all can see when Steve and Joy get back to it and get back live and doing their thing.
It's not for the faint of heart, though. If you're easily offended, if you have a delicate constitution, it's not the show for you.
That's something they're dealing with internally. See?
Right.
It ain't nothing y'all dealing with. It's
Okay.
it's
How about don't listen with your kids? How's that?
yeah, don't do that. Don't. It's 14 and up.
Or, yeah, at a minimum,
Oh,
absolutely.
I said 14. That's the age.
I wouldn't let my daughter listen to that shit. Fuck.
But she could get some gems from it, though. I feel like y'all be kicking some gems that y'all don't even be knowing gems at the time, because it's stuff that y'all know that
Yeah.
it's just natural to y'all, but it's stuff that some people don't know. They be like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I feel like that life is way more life is way more simple than people make it out to be. Like, it's only complicated if you make it complicated.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, oh man, my life's really complicated. No, it's fucking not. Like, you're complicated that shit with emotional attachment or the way that you're viewing things, or you don't want to let something go. But at the end of the day, your life is only as complicated as you allow it to be.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, happiness.
Everything's a choice.
Like we were saying, happiness is a choice. It's a choice if it's going to be complicated or it's going to be simplified. I pause for a minute because I think that I chose complication.
Yeah. We all do, because we're humans and we want to balance and we want more, and we don't think ahead very well and all that shit. But it's like my grandmother, my mom's mom, that she died years ago from cancer. We growing up, we called her the mean granny because she didn't put up with shit. Like my dad's. The funny thing is, like my dad's parents, or my dad's mom is very like Southern debutante. Everything's fine. We'll backstab you, but like there's nothing ever wrong. Everything's perfect. And my mom's parents were like very blue collar, like down to earth. Like they'll spit you straight. They didn't filter shit. And looking back, I was like, oh man, like she taught me so much.
Where are they from originally?
Columbia, Tennessee, and Nashville, that area.
Yeah, and both your parents.
Yeah, yeah.
Dang, how'd y'all end up in California? Or that was work?
My dad's work. Yeah,
Yeah.
But she told me one time. She said, if you got something wrong, either do something about it or shut the hell up, because nobody gives a shit about how you feel. And I was like, ooh. And like later thinking back, she was like, yeah, do something or change it, or just shut the fuck up, because you're making a choice either way. She's like, if you can't change it, then accept it.
You know, that's good information that somebody, a younger person told me, that your parents told you that nobody gives a shit.
Yep.
That's simple, like great information. Nobody gives a shit.
Mm-hmm. Don't expect them to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm grateful if somebody cares about my shit, but I don't expect you to care about my shit.
Nobody gives a shit. Or you got to continue to move forward regardless, because nobody gives a shit. Just that simple.
The world doesn't give a shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She also told me she was going to come and haunt me, which was fucking awesome.
Oh man, how she gonna haunt you, man?
Well, she told me, though, my aunt sings at funerals. Like, every person in the family that's died, she always sings that fucking stupid ass song at every single one. And I used to play music, and I was terrible when I started, like fucking awful.
You
Late
played
bloomer.
like play
guitar and sing, yeah. And again, I was shitty for a long. I was a very late bloomer with a lot of things, music being one. I didn't get decent until I was like in my mid-20s. But anyway, she came. She goes, one of the last things she ever said to me before she died, she goes, Steven, I want you to promise me something. I was like, sure, Granny. Like, what do you want? She goes, promise me you ain't going to sing at my damn funeral. It's bad enough your Aunt Linda's going to sing at that damn thing. And she goes, and if you sing, I will come back and haunt your ass. And I was like, yes, ma'am.
Oh, I wasn't a song neither.
Yeah. You want to know something creepy, though? Some crazy shit? This has nothing to do with anything we've talked about. About a month after she died, I was driving, and, old flip phones. But phone didn't ring, just beeped, got a voicemail. This is like a month, like I said, a month. And I answered it, and my grandmother or my granny never called my cell phone. She refused to. She'd be like, I'll see you when I see you. If it's important enough, I'll call your mom type of thing. She hated cell phones. Had a voicemail pop up. I checked it and just said, hey, Steven, it's your granny. Call me. A month after she fucking died. That shit put chills on the back of my neck. And I was just like, what the fuck happened?
That would have fucked me up, man.
Like I said, never called my phone, ever. And like that shit. I was like, what the fuck is this?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man. So, golly, like, you done had some experiences, Steve, man. I had something I wanted to ask you about music, though.
Yeah.
Because you was talking about growing up in the church and not singing at your grandmother's funeral. What was your first introduction to music? I'm gonna tell you mine too after you tell me yours.
Okay. So growing up, my dad liked music. Well, they both did, but my dad liked old, music from the 60s, late 50s, 60s, Beatles and all that stuff. And he loved some country. My mom loved like Southern gospel, like Statler Brothers and the Gaithers and all those guys. But Gaithers, man.
I remember that music. I grew up on a
fucking Ricky Skaggs and shit, man. But then got a little older, and my mom got super into church, and we weren't allowed to listen to any quote unquote secular music. It had to be either like we were still allowed to listen to oldies, but no modern music unless it was like contemporary Christian or whatever. And then I discovered alternative Christian music, which was like they had a whole segment.
Let you listen to that?
Yeah, because it was still Christian. It was like punk rock bands and stuff like that. But my first real introduction, I can remember my dad throwing on like a record or some random shit. Like I think Hank Williams was one of the first things on an 8-track in his truck. Was like one of the first things I can actually remember music wise.
So did you sing first or play the guitar first?
Both at the same time. So I started badly, very badly. I was in a band with Joey in high school. It was a shitty, terrible Christian punk
How many
band.
people was in the band?
3 at first. Oh, 4.
Y'all, boy, so y'all was the first in sync.
No, it was a punk rock band, man. We had guitars and drums and shit, you dick.
I'm sorry.
I don't want it that way.
Y'all the first. Golly, what's a famous punk rock band?
Oh, there aren't.
Because I don't know no.
Yeah, I mean, you got like Green Day. It's probably
What happened to rock? Like it being the most popular genre.
It's died slowly. Well, the age of the rock star has died away because there's no pride. Like rock stars, the whole thing about rock stars is they were like this mythical creatures that you only saw occasionally in headlines, and you heard they were trashing hotel rooms and these crazy drug parties and all this shit. And with social media and modern culture, you can't get away with that shit anymore. It's all
I need
everywhere.
Content every day from you. You can't get drunk and trash hotels and
now you have to be. Now everybody's expected to be an example. Like, well, shit, Led Zeppelin, man. Jimmy Page basically kidnapped a 14-year-old girl and then married her when she turned 18 and took her on tour. There's stories about them, like sticking a shark in a girl's, like, vagina, like, all kinds of crazy shit that,
Well, Elvis wasn't considered a rock star, was he? He was. He was.
Oh, yeah.
And he married a 14-year-old.
Yeah. Was she 14 when they got married? No, that was Jerry Lee Lewis, the piano guy.
That was Elvis, I think.
I don't know. Elvis married Priscilla.
How old was
Jerry Lee Lewis was his cousin, and she was 14.
Let me ask Siri. How old was Priscilla when Elvis married her?
Here's what I found from CountryLiving.com. In a clandestine Las Vegas ceremony, Priscilla, who was just 21 at the time, with Elvis 32, on May 1st, 1967.
Yeah. Jerry Lee Lewis married his first cousin, and she was 14.
How old was Jerry Lee Lewis' wife?
Here's what I found.
Say 13.
Oh, sorry, I was a year off.
Myra Williams, 13 years old.
That motherfucker could play the piano, though.
That's mean. 14. So rock stars, you ain't getting away. You definitely ain't getting away with
that shit.
hunching
Well,
on.
some of that's like, statutory is frowned upon these days. As opposed to
That's
back then.
R. Kelly status.
Yeah.
Peed on.
Did you ever some stupid shit growing up? I remember this like in high school. A girl was hot. They'd be like, "Man, I'd pee in her butt." I don't know if you ever heard that. That was so gross. They used to say shit all the time.
Oh, you know what they say is going on in prison now? Butt talk just made me think about this. But you know how they rape people now?
How?
They don't.
Not the traditional,
Like-
not the tried and true way.
They lick their finger or something and stick it up your butt and that's it's considered rape because I don't know.
Forcible penetration.
It's they do.
I would much rather dude finger blast my butthole than stick his fucking 10-inch dick in it.
But at the end of the day, think about that you're raped. Now you're in jail and they got to let your parents know that you've been raped.
Yeah.
But you didn't get penalized or whatever. You got finger banged, but
Yeah.
still though, that's
Right.
that's a new
And that shit I do now for fun.
Ooh. That's a new form of prison disrespect, finger banging a man.
I could see it being more disrespectful for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like, you ever open hand slapped another man? That shit's demoralizing as fuck.
Slapping a man.
Like open hand, right? Like you talking about making somebody feel an inch fucking tall. Yeah.
I've seen a man get slapped before, but I never slapped him.
You see the look on their face, like, what the fuck just happened?
Because it don't even hurt. It
Like,
just
I don't respect you enough to punch you like a man. I'm gonna slap you.
like a bitch.
You know? You said it.
Well,
I used to work with this old guy, man. This old Seton Woody. He was, dude, he's in Baltimore. And he used to tell me all the time, he goes, I'd never hit a woman, but I'll beat a bitch's ass.
as a young man, I had fights with women before. I'm coming. This is my confessional moment on the pod, ain't it?
All right.
Well, it was a big girl one time that got off the school bus with her. I ain't gonna mention her name. I should, but yeah, I'll say it. Sharita Littlejohn. That was her name.
Okay.
She was probably 6'2".
Damn.
I was probably 5'11".
Yeah.
She charging me, talking about kicking my ass. So I just football field goal punted her ass down the street. I kicked the shit out of her. I didn't even punch. I just kicked her. She went rolling down the street.
The old cunt kick.
Yeah. I didn't mean to hurt the young lady over there, but she was humongous.
Well, that's more of a self-defense kind of thing.
It was, wasn't
At
it?
least it started that way.
Yeah, but I didn't know that probably was one of my first fights.
Yeah.
Was young.
Yeah. Well, I've always said, like, for me, like, with any type of thing, like, somebody asked me one time, I was like, would you hit a woman? I was like, no, like, I'm, for the most part, anti, like, violence against women. Here's the thing. Like, my thing has always been enough force to neutralize the situation.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big enough dude. If I pop a 5'1" girl in the face, I'm breaking her fucking jaw.
It's
like,
over. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not going to do that. So it's as much force. If I got to put you on the ground, whatever. But I will, me personally, won't, like, physically hit a woman. But I have seen one or two women get popped. I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying shit. She had that coming, which is awful to say, but it's true. And I'm not talking about, like, the dude didn't beat her. I saw one woman, she was with this dude, and I've stepped in and I've pulled a couple, like, I've stepped in between some, like, dudes hitting on women. I'm fine with that. But we were at a bar and they were mouthing. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to step in the middle of this type of thing. But she said something. Evidently, his mom had just died, like, recently, and she was like, I'm glad that fucking bitch died. Blah 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 blah. And he hauled off an open hand, popped her across the mouth. And I was like, yep, not saying a word. Like, that was well deserved. Like,
Man,
just
that's
because I wouldn't do it does not mean I'm like, yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. I done seen some crazy things before. I done seen some women do some stuff that's.
Oh yeah.
In the neighborhood I grew up in, I seen a girl shoot a pregnant girl.
Oh shit.
In the stomach.
God damn.
Vicious.
Yeah, that's vicious. Fuck.
Not to laugh because it's funny, but
that's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, that was super crazy. Yeah. I was a teenager watching that too. I know a lot of other individuals that seen that too.
And seeing somebody get fucking shot in real life is so much different than seeing that shit on, like, TV or show.
You know, what's crazy is this is not a brag or say I'm cool or nothing, but it's the trauma that I was talking about at the beginning of the podcast. Yeah. I've seen so many people die.
Yeah.
With my own two eyes. It's like I went to war.
Yeah.
In my neighborhood. So many of my friends gone. I can't even remember all of the people that I know that's dead.
Yeah.
And I've seen police get shot. I've seen these people get shot. It's just a weird experience now that the lifestyle that I live now, it's like I'm fucking.
Yeah, it's a different world.
Yeah.
Well, like, I've seen a few people die, but never, like, it via accident or some shit like that. Like, it's, you know, I haven't firsthand seen that shit, but still, it's weird seeing someone die.
Yeah, that's weird, seeing a life leave.
Yeah, because you see it. Like, it's a visible thing that you see.
Someone just go cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. No, it's fucking weird. Like,
I wouldn't wish nobody to see stuff like that.
No, never. I would not wish it on anybody. And because it's fucked, it sticks with you, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, and because my two, like, I saw one girl has an accident, like her lung had ruptured, and they done CPR, and like that last like death rattle thing, you know. And I was like 14, like I was like younger, and like that shit fucked me up for a little while, but you know, not nearly the degree that, like I said, you've experienced, but the few times I have.
Nah,
like,
but death is death though, no matter how it happens though. But
now you want to hear something really fucked up?
Talk
you
to
want,
me.
you want some story time?
Story time with
So,
Steve.
so when you're gonna think twice about hitting that button. So my grandfather died. That's been about 7 years ago now, and my grandmother, I think she killed him. I'm pretty sure, but like, because they were a horrible relationship anyway. But she didn't want, like, he was dying, and she didn't want to call the like the ambulance, whatever, the coroner to come until all the family had gotten there, which is kind of weird anyway. But it took me an hour to get there. It took her about 3 or 4. But when I got there, he wasn't completely dead. I know the difference. Like, mostly dead, but not really. So he's sitting there in his recliner, basically dead. But I could, again, been around enough. I was like, he's still in there a little bit. Like, you really couldn't see it. But anyway, saw him die. And then they were in there, like, crying and doing all their shit in the other room. And I was in there like, I am never going to get another chance to do something like this. So he's laying there sharing. I walked over and I went on his dead lips.
Oh, this dead.
Oh, he was cold, ice cold at this point. Just a little, and I even made the noise. I went, and then I went, Steven, why am I dead now? Like, I was just like,
How old was you when you did it?
oh, this is like 3-4 years ago, man.
Oh,
That's six years ago. I was a grown man. None of my family knows that, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did the whole, like, I made him talk like a little blah, 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 blah.
And you was the only person in the room, though. You had to do that in secret.
They were in the other room. Like, I could see them. It's a big open, like, living room, kitchen area. But yeah, they thought I was just in there, like, spending time with my grandfather, like, saying my goodbyes. I was in there, like, blah, 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 blah.
But he's gone now, though.
Oh, he didn't give a shit. He was dead.
Yeah, he's gone.
I like to think that if he was in heaven or wherever looking down, he'd be like, what the fuck is that guy doing?
He probably cussed you out.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a dick.
That's crazy, though, golly. How did your mind get you to that place, though?
I don't know. I was just sitting there. I was like, oh, that would be really funny. Because in my mind, it was like, if I saw that shit on TV, I'd laugh my ass off. Like, if it was, like, depending on the movies and whatever. So I was like, you know, why not? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know what gets me anywhere.
What gets me anywhere?
Yeah, like my brain. It's just there.
It's just a reactive thing. You think it, you do it.
Yep.
Should our brains work like that, though? Should we have...
You gotta have some self-control.
Oh,
You have
well.
to learn some self-control. But here's the thing, though. Whether you physically do it or not, you're doing it in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on how
Because
you
you're
look
thinking
at
it.
you're thinking it, or picturing yourself doing it, you know.
So you might as well just...
And well, I don't say might as well because
No.
there's, again, repercussions. There's consequences to your actions. Like, I can picture myself stabbing somebody in the fucking throat over and over and over again. But if I do it, that's going to be a whole different set of problems.
That's why you should think before you speak. Like we was just talking about freedom of speech at the beginning of the pod.
Yep.
And if you don't think before you speak, you could just blurt out some shit or do something wild, and it's consequences for
Yep.
it.
I do admire people to a point that have no filter, that'll just say whatever the fuck's on their mind.
Name some people.
Just people that I've known, like not many, like but there's not many people I know. I think some people do it to get a reaction, but I mean, I've known a couple people that just there's no fucking filter. They'll say whatever the hell is on their brain. Like if somebody, like an old lady, could be like, "Do I look nice in this?" And they'd be like, "No, you look fucking terrible." Like just no, like, "Oh yeah, honey," you know, or talking to their wife, like, "Oh no, that looks you fat as shit." You know, there's no nicety or subtlety. It's just
That's crazy coming from a grown individual because most of the time children are that brash. They are that honest.
Oh, yeah.
And they just speak things like because they have no filter to themselves.
Yeah.
Kids don't. They haven't experienced things that causes the blockage or they haven't been punched yet. So,
right. Yeah, it's just whatever's there. But it's hearing a grown person do it is fucking crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. But my son, that we were I took him swimming in Lenore over the summer, and he was giving me a hard time. Like, "Dad, you're fat. You're getting
Lenore
fat."
City?
Lenore, North Carolina. It's
Okay,
just past Hickory.
Okay.
But they're always like, "Dad, you're gotten fat. You're fat. You're fat." You know, all the time. And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I have." But like, I'm for 41 in the South. I look pretty goddamn good still.
Yeah.
But we were at the pool there, and he was like let's go down the water slide. And I was like, okay. And he was like, are you going to get stuck in it? I went, Jude, I want you to do me a favor. Look around you right now. I was like, just look at the other grown-ups here. I was like, how skinny do I look? He was like, you look like you're super buff. And I was like, yeah, because this is a bunch of fat shits laying around this pool. Like, it's just how it is, man.
Kids compare grown-ups to themselves. They don't compare grown-ups to the people that's their age.
Now, granted, I am a fat piece of shit compared to, 10 years ago.
Nah, you ain't fat.
No, I got a little cushion. Little cushion for the pushing, you know.
Women like that, and it's almost
the dad bods. Yeah,
it's almost wintertime. And
Right.
it's something to keep them warm. Yeah.
I still need to drop a few, but working on it. But more about being healthy at this point. Like I smoke, like I drink whiskey. Like I'm a fairly unhealthy human being anyway. So if I can at least like drop a little weight, at least
So whiskey is your favorite beverage.
Hell yeah.
Next time we do this, we're gonna have to get shit faced it. Do about 2 hours a visual.
Yeah.
2 hour visual if we have the time. We'll give y'all an hour if we don't have the time, but I'm gonna bring a bottle of some real good wine. It might not be too expensive, it might be around 50, 75 bucks. Wine, some good stuff, and you bring some whiskey, and we come in here and handle business.
I'm good with that, man. We have to, you're ashamed to show me on camera tonight, so hopefully in the future.
No. You're a very handsome young man.
Yeah, I thought about starting a solo show with some different shit. Have you on it? We have our own show.
I would do it. Yeah,
have our own show.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
I'm not loyal. I'm not a good friend.
I'm a terrible friend.
Shit.
I'm a terrible person.
Nah, I ain't gonna say that.
Say it about me, or say what were you gonna say?
No, I ain't gonna say you're a terrible person, but you can say it about yourself.
No, I'm a pretty terrible person. I'm very self-aware.
I'm a shit friend though.
Yeah.
Like I'm a friend that I'm a good friend.
Yeah.
But I might change all of a sudden. That's why I said about the old and the new friend.
You're fair weather.
Yeah, I'm fair weather. Yeah, I might be tired.
Well, it's like the first time we did the two brothers with you guys. I mean, I was like, that Trevor guy's a fucking dick. I hate him.
Yeah.
I didn't say that, but
okay. I'll try to be.
I like the other guy better.
Yeah. I think you enjoy like Troy better than me.
Nah. It's funny. It's funny the similarities between the two shows as far as personality types on the mic.
That's true.
All the similarities.
That's true. A lot of people tell me that Joey and Troy have similar vibes.
Yeah. Joey's an Eeyore from the word go. Like, you remember Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh? The guy that was always like,
oh, yeah, I remember.
I guess we'll do that. That's Joey in a heartbeat.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why his podcast fucking sucked by himself. Like, he's a great straight guy. He's very straight-laced, very dry. He's fantastic. We get along really well, but by himself, fuck.
Oh, yeah. Damn, Joe.
He knows I say this shit.
Yeah, I say it too.
He would say the same shit about me in a different way. He'd be like, God, he's loudmouth. He talks too much. Fuck that guy.
Man, we're going to have to get Joey up here to the 704 to the Charlotte.
He's not gonna drive up here.
It's just down. I could ride a bike to Knoxville.
If it's more than an hour, he won't go. I've lived all over the U.S. when I was in the military and otherwise. He never came to one fucking place. If I wanted to see him, it was when I came home to see everybody.
Damn.
Yeah.
So Joey's a homebody.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
that's my guy.
I don't think always by choice.
By force.
We did go to Pennsylvania that one time for that show.
That was a dope show, man.
That show was fucking crazy.
That show was dope, man.
That's the only show, I shouldn't say the only one. One of the only shows we edited anything out of.
Y'all didn't edit anything?
We did. There's one thing I said it that Amanda mentioned it to me, and I was like, "Ooh, that was bad." I was really drunk, and I was like, "That's gotta."
Y'all was stoned.
So I had to pull one little part out. I made a joke about molesting his kids, and it didn't come across as a joke. And so I was like, "Ooh, that probably needs to."
Well, that's good because sometimes you got to have other people's perception.
Yeah, but that's the only time we've ever, like, as far as a show that's just been us or like that we ever edited. There's one show that we pulled twice that we had a local goalie, and he said some shit from the Ice Bears.
Oh, I remember.
And he was like, "Guys, that'll get me suspended from games." And he was like the best goalie we had, so we was like, "Okay, we'll take it out."
Yeah, we'll have to take it out. We don't want him suspended from games. I like the Ice Bears too, man. I wonder, do they play the minor league team here? Because I would like to go to.
I don't think they do.
And get me a Knox. I need an Ice Bears hat.
Yeah,
You know I'm a hat.
I might have one at the house. I'll bring to you.
that'd be nice.
It's not disgusting and broken like this one is, though.
Now, I got a question because it's a hat conversation.
Bring it.
Why do white guys have the why they bend the hat up?
I can ask you the same thing. Why do you got to keep it flat bill?
Is it the shape of
this contours the head? This is functional, as opposed to when it's flat. That shit, you got holes in the side. I don't understand the flat bill thing.
I think that's what it is. The races, we must have different head types.
I don't know. Well, I think for me though, like,
because I got a square head.
Well, this is more comfortable for me. Like, I've had flat bill and they don't fit right. I don't think they fit, but also just, I don't know, like playing baseball and shit, you got better coverage on the peripherals, and like, I'm making that shit up. I don't know. Okay. That's what I've always done. That's what I was showed to do.
Yeah, I played baseball too, so I don't know about that.
I don't know. I think it was, I could be wrong, and this is my own anecdotal information, but I feel like that a lot of the flat bill stuff came from hip hop culture out of the 80s, 90s.
Because it wasn't no flat bibs period till about the 90s when all hats was bent up already.
Yep. Yeah. And I have a theory about that. It might not be a popular theory, but it's my own
let's
theory.
Hear it,
We talk about shit here, right?
Yeah.
So my theory for that is a lot of almost all like hip hop and rap came out of mostly impoverished neighborhoods, right? All. And I feel like the flat rim hat was a sign of it being new because you didn't buy it curved. And so it was a small sign of affluence. Like, I can afford to buy new fucking hats. They're not broken. They're not beat down. So it's new, and I'm going to keep it pristine and keep it new.
Oh, yeah, because the black folks do take pride
in appearance, much more so.
Appearance than, because, and I got a theory for that now. Of why it's like that. I feel as if, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but I feel as if we need to promote ourselves as successful or looking good or whatever because of the slave mentality.
Well, traditionally too, though, if you wanted to succeed in a white working environment, a white culture, you had to act white in order to get ahead. Because if you were in people's minds a stereotype of whatever they put in, then it's like, oh no, they're just one of them. You know. Whereas if you acted the part, it was like, oh, well, you're different than all the others. You know what I mean? It was that mindset, and it's as fucked as it is. I think that's where a lot of it came from. And again, it's the same way for me, not for me, but I've seen very similar, even white folks that grew up super poor, like trailer parks, type of shit, meth dealing. When they get older and if they become financially successful, then they're wearing like way more expensive clothes and shit like that because it's showing where they are versus like, I never want to look like that again. Type of thing. Different.
That's crazy to me though, because I don't dress for, I dress totally what I like. I don't dress for people to perceive me in one way.
Go out. But this is one thing, and I have it impresses the shit out of me every time. Go out to eat somewhere that's a little bit nice on a Friday, Saturday night. Look at the white folks in there eating. Look at the black folks in there eating, and look who's dressed fucking on point.
I know who dressed on point.
Most of the black folks are dressed on point from what I've seen. I'm talking about like a nicer place. Like I'm talking about older. Like younger is different because like everybody wears just fucking pajamas everywhere now. But I'm talking about you see an older black dude and he's in a suit. He's in a fucking tie. Like he's. Shoes shined like
but why you think that is though?
Well, the same reasons we're talking about. I'm just saying it impressed me because like anybody that's sharply, because I dress like a fucking homeless person, but to see anybody dressed on point that's taking that much effort, like I respect the shit out of that. I do. And,
I do too though, but I'm the type of dresser that as long as my drawers are clean, my socks clean, my shoes and my hat, I'll put on some dumb shit with flannel with some holes on it. I don't give a shit about the shirt or the pants. Just the hat and the underwear and the shoes be clean.
I got a theory I want to run by you. We brought some race shit up and
break it on down.
And I've talked to my wife about this a little bit. And not joking, because to me it's more of a serious thing. Serious is the wrong word, but I'd like your perspective on it. And I have come to the conclusion, just from observation, that traditional, deep Southern men and like in traditional roles, like older, like not older, I mean like grown now older because they're going to be our parents' age and shit. And even to a point, younger high schoolers that poor black people and poor white people have way more in common than they're willing to admit. As far as how they view the world, as far as their attitudes, men specifically. Men specifically.
I agree with that. I feel as if poor people in general.
I'm not talking about a poverty mindset. I'm talking about like, okay, when you're young, we'll say 16, 17 years old, if you show weakness, you're gonna get the shit kicked out of you or be called a pussy or a fag or whatever else. Yeah. Same thing in Southern, and I'm talking about Southern, like Southern. If you're not into what everybody else is into, you're whatever. And as a man, you don't ask for help. You don't talk about your emotions. You don't seek help outside of that. You keep your shit together. You don't like outsiders. Yeah, that's true. Stick with your crew.
That's true.
Whoever that may be. And there's those mindsets, and it might just be human, but I especially notice it between like poor Southern and I keep saying Southern, but like poor Southern white folks and poor Southern black folks. It's a very similar mentality between the two, and if I feel like if people would recognize those similarities, there'd be a lot less issues in certain areas.
It would be because they would notice that they're similar in their ways and the way they have to deal with.
It's how they view the world. Different reasons, different backgrounds for it, but very similar mindsets.
And I feel as if all of those mindsets are fucking ass backwards at the end of the day.
And I guess I'm talking more about too, like their perception of manhood and what it means to be a man. I guess that's more of like to be more specific as far as
you a nerd. What you got that book for?
Yeah,
it goes on in both cultures.
Yeah.
Oh, you going to college, so you think you better than us now?
Yep, exactly.
Oh, the government owe us our check this month.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And don't you fucking cry about it. Don't you fucking get upset. Like you fucking suck it up and you go on. You know that type of thing. And it's a stubbornness and an unwillingness to get help when you need help or to accept the things that are outside of that pocket that you're in.
Because people can't, after hearing that, if anybody listening to this podcast heard that you can't make no excuses no more. Ain't no excuse. You can't make no excuses. You can see that you're hindering yourself. My fault, y'all. Y'all self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
That's a self-sabotaging lifestyle.
It is.
In both cultures.
But when you're also raised in it and it's
you don't know no better.
Right. You don't know any better. But that's the thing. When you do get old enough and you see the difference, then it becomes your problem.
Fuck.
Like to me, and I've told my oldest this before he left, he was complaining about some stuff and he tried to tell, well, this is how you've raised me. This is how I'm like, no, you're old enough now. If you can say that fucking phrase and recognize the fact that this is not how you want to be, then you can now make the choice to change it, and you cannot blame anything in your past anymore for this.
Because you got to deal with it at some point in your life. That's go back to the point to why I said I was doing what I was doing these last 3 months.
Yeah.
Every man has that time period in their life where you got to make a decision.
Yeah.
From a child to a man, from a boy to from a poor Southern mind frame or whatever, you got to make a decision that I got to look out for my best interests. I got to be selfish so I can better me.
Yep. Well, and two, as soon as you recognize you have a fault, right? Whether it's from how you were raised, some shit you didn't realize that your parents fucked you up with, whatever the case may be. As soon as you become aware of that, then in my opinion, you can't blame anything else anymore. At that point, it's your choice to change and to move forward with it.
When hearing you talk about this topic too, it got me thinking about like the financial divide and finances and how things are and why people are in situations that they in. Like, what do you think about like at this country? I see like a exchange of wealth, like wealth transferring all over the place in different sectors and different genres and different tech formats. Like, it's just people are getting money that used to be struggling, used to be suffering, and now you, like me and you, we probably not have had the greatest lifestyles, but we doing pretty good for ourselves, and we ain't the average people. Like 30 years ago, it was mostly politicians. You was in the military. You was a lawyer. It was just certain divisions of people that's getting money. I think ever since COVID hit, that wealth started transferring because people was in the house and they was learning things or whatever. So
Right.
that self-sabotaging mind frame that we just got through talking about, what are people going to do about it?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. But it's funny because there's still massive job shortages around too. People not willing to fucking go back to work and earn money.
But it's plentiful jobs available. Right?
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
Yeah, because nobody's fucking taking them. I don't understand that mindset ever because, like, I get that if I'm getting money for free, like literally just for existing, great. Like, I don't fault anybody for that shit. But if you're not working to make more, what's the point? And I'm not talking about being wealthy, but I'm just saying, like, the fact of the matter is money can buy comfort. It can't buy happiness, and it doesn't make your problems go away.
Yeah.
But it buys comfort and security, which go a long fucking way into dealing with other shit.
Yeah.
Like if I don't have to worry about, if my lights are going to be on next month or not, I can worry about some other shit. You know what I mean? And where was I going with that? I have no fucking clue.
Just contributing to society, just being
Right.
a person contributing to the world rotating. Like,
Yeah.
why it ain't no jobs? Why it is so many jobs and people don't want to work? Is it because they ain't paying nothing?
Yeah,
Or
I think that's part of. Well, part of it's like, okay, I get this much a month from, we'll say, welfare or whatever. But if I make a penny more than what this line is, then I don't get any of it. Yeah, I lose all of it. And if I work 40 hours a week at this shit job,
I'm making less.
I'm making
than I
less
would've-
than I would on the other.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know. I've been looking around, like, from what I do at my place of employment. I look and see how many opportunities it is in the world for supervisors and managers. Like, a lot of people aren't mathematically inclined to
Right.
to understand probably what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna break it down. Like, supervisors and manager jobs are just so available right now because people are realizing that they're giving you a set salary, right? For just say $70,000 a
Yep.
year,
No overtime.
no overtime. You working 70 hours a week, 4 weeks, 70 hours. You done gave these folks 280 hours
Yep.
a month. They done gave you $3,000 for that month.
Yep.
You done work for $7 an hour,
Mm-hmm.
mathematically.
Yeah.
But you think you winning because you getting this set 70,000. You getting robbed, really.
Yeah. Well, to me, the only time salary is worth it is if it's an ebb and flow for your hours. Like, I'm salaried with my job now, but there's some weeks, I'm working a 70-hour week, but there's other weeks I maybe do 6 hours work the whole week, right? So for me, it's worth
Yes, it is.
being salaried, right?
Yeah.
But like one of the last jobs I was at, it was so inconsistent, or I'm sorry, it was very consistent. It was like 50-hour weeks every week, and they were like, "Oh, we need to go to salaried." I was like, "No, fuck that," because my check might change, but it's always more than it's going to be what you guys are offering me for salary.
Yeah, and it's going to be multiple hours of work, more hours of work if they trying to make you salaried, and they don't tell you that until you sign the contract and agree to it.
Now, I will say though, and I've noticed this, and it not bothers me, but it's the wrong word, but I take notice of that shit, and that is if people in our position, regardless of race or color, that have established a certain amount of success in their life, we want to apply that to anyone else that doesn't have it. And be like, well, if you would just work harder, or if you would just do this, then you can make it to here. That's not always fucking true.
Yeah, that's
And it's much easier, especially if you work yourself out of an impoverished background, it's easier to be judgy and be like, oh, you guys just have a fucking poverty mindset. You know, you view them less than we do. It's just an inherent thing. Whereas, like, even though I know for a fact you've worked your ass off, I've worked my dick in the dirt, but there's also some luck in there, right? Just because of, like, I will say, like, I was fortunate when I was younger. I still have a good relationship with my parents. And when I was younger, like up until like the whole Bible school thing, I got helped a lot. Like it wasn't like, driving a brand new car and had all this stuff, but I didn't suffer. It helped me, my initial going to community college, all that shit. But after I dropped out, I got married, like that shit. I got divorced. I basically, everything just burned to the fucking ground.
Yeah.
I started over and I didn't ask for a goddamn thing. I can remember one time I asked my parents for money and I paid them back in a month, and like I even had to move home at one point in time and I paid them rent. And I was like, I'm not living here for free. But so I worked my ass off from that point. But I also, like, a few things, like I went to the military. That afforded me, VA benefits and all that shit. I got medically discharged. I was honorable, but it was medical. But because I was going to stay in. But because of that, I get a disability check from the VA every month. That pays most of my rent and mortgage.
Yeah.
And so, and granted, like when Amanda and I got married, we did not have much money, crazy debt. And like, I'm still digging out of some of those holes, but I'm digging out, you know what I mean? But I've also gotten lucky when COVID hit, the company I was with was shutting down or they kept making cuts. I got a job making more money than I did before. I just happened to stumble into it. So like,
it was a blessing.
It was a huge
COVID
blessing.
hit.
So I don't like look that in the mouth, but it's really hard when you've struggled to get to where you're at to see other people be like, well, if you could get out of this, if you really wanted to, it's a choice. Joey looks at things that way. Well, you're choosing to be there. And that's true to a point with some people, but like, say you made a decision and it fucked you over. You're a single mom. Your husband died, left, you just got knocked up, whatever the fucking case may be. After you're a single mom, your priority is that kid. And if you don't have a system of people to watch that kid, you can't afford daycare. Like, you're very limited in what you can fucking do.
Yeah.
And like, you could be stuck in that situation. There's no savings. Your car breaks down. That might fuck you for years.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not taken into consideration a lot of times. Like, it's not always a fucking choice. Sometimes it's the choice your parents made. Sometimes it's a choice your grandparents made. Sometimes it's a choice you made when you were 14 that you had no idea was going to affect the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah.
And granted, maybe it's their fault, but when you get to a certain level, there's no just pulling up your bootstraps and going for it.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain holes you get into without like a literal miracle of sorts that you're ever going to get out of where the fuck you are.
And like you were saying, sometimes it's a little bit of luck involved in that also. Because when you start taking accountability and when you start holding yourself accountable and being responsible for your behaviors and the things you do, luck just happen to fall in your lap sometimes.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
and there are certain, elements that come up. Like, honestly, like, there's probably opportunities I've had because I'm white, and that definitely plays into it. But here's my thing with that. And I've had some conversations about this. Like, well, do you feel bad about that? Whatever. I'm like, no, like, fuck no.
Fuck no.
Because here's the thing. And this is going to sound so dickish, but it goes back to being selfish, right? Is we're all just trying to fucking get by in this world. And like, the world's a shitty fucking place, right? In mass, there's good things, but I'm just saying as a whole, and everyone's ultimate goal is to survive, and not just survive, but to survive well. Right?
Yeah.
So any privilege, any leg up you can get, you're going to fucking take.
That's
right?
true.
And so like, I don't like that other people have less privilege than me, but that doesn't mean I'm going to turn mine down.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
And now, like, go head to head. We're going up for the same job. You're more qualified than me. They give me the job. If I know that they're not giving you the job, because you don't know that, but if I know personally, then I'm like, no, that's fucked.
Yeah.
But if I don't know,
You got to take advantage of your opportunity.
I'm not going to question that shit.
Yeah, because you don't know where the blessing coming from.
Right.
It might not. You really don't know just because you're white. That might not be the blessing. The blessing could be coming from what you've been doing in repetition, or who you are, or how you presented yourself as a person.
But my responsibility as a grown ass man is to take care of my shit. And whatever happens to fall into place to let me take care of that shit, I'm going to take care of that shit. you know what I'm saying? And that sounds really, people like, that's the shittiest way to look at it. I'm like, it's not, because if I can be in a position to help somebody, I will always help them, because I understand, and not because I give a shit about them, but because I would want that in that situation. And my whole thing is like, as much as I don't care about a lot of people, I recognize that we're all suffering in this shit box together, right? So the more kindness I can show you, the better your life's going to be. And if you're not a dick because I showed you kindness, the better my life's going to be. And so it's this reciprocal thing of just showing fucking kindness to people, but that doesn't mean like my family still comes fucking first. If it comes between, you and me, like at the end of the day,
I got to make it home to my family.
And I would expect you to have the same fucking mindset.
Oh, yeah. That's a fact. Or I would be, why would you even want to be in my presence if I didn't have the same mindset?
Yeah, like I would never intentionally fuck you over. But if you got fucked over because of some shit I'm not aware of, then fucking so be it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true, man. What you got me thinking about talking about that is like, as a man that has faced a lot of challenges and stuff in life, man. When I first moved here, like the first month I moved here from Tennessee, I got a DUI.
Oh.
that shit was so deadly. I thought everything I worked for was gonna end.
Yep.
Because I didn't know how serious it was.
You're a good Jewish lawyer, man. You couldn't afford
Ain't
that
that
shit.
what Kanye was saying? Jewish people run the world, don't they?
To a large degree, yeah.
He was saying that boy Kanye was going crazy. You ain't heard none of that.
I saw a little bit about that. It's been a shit show.
Should I play some of it so we can hear it?
If you want to, we're running 2 hours, man. It's your show. I don't care.
I'm gonna finish off what I was saying, and then I'm gonna play a little bit of that so you can hear what he had to say, and we're gonna rebuttal that. We're gonna get on off of here, man. I appreciate you coming through, man.
Man, I appreciate you having me on.
But I was saying that DUI almost ended everything for real for me, because I'm coming from Tennessee. I know I could have just hired a lawyer and they would have lowered it to a reckless endangerment or something like that. And I wasn't even drinking at that time. I was just medically medicated on marijuana.
Yeah.
But that's still under the influence.
Right.
So here, I wasn't as rich or financially stable like that. You automatically lose your license. You got to get a breathalyzer thing. And you got to pay $30,000 in fines.
So much money.
Man, people don't understand how serious that is. Like $30,000 in fines for your first offense. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And you can't get your license until you paid it off.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
God.
you got to pay it off.
And then you got fuckers running around that have like 4 DUIs and they've gotten off.
And they driving right now down the street with no license.
Crazy.
So, like how you saying, sometimes you got to pull yourself up and just continue to move forward and make better decisions, man. I wholeheartedly agree with that, man. Yep. For real.
But part of that's taking ownership of it, right? If you started blaming, we all have moments of it, but if you try to blame everybody else for that shit, you never move forward, right? Until you take accountability for, even if it was a bum deal, even if I got a DUI and you were fucking driving or whatever the case, maybe we got fined or taken to jail, whatever. Like, I can blame that on you to a point, but at the end of the day, I chose to be there. You know what I mean? Like, you have to take accountability for the shit that you fuck up.
For everything that you fuck up, man. Yep. Because if you don't take accountability for it, then you're just going to remain in that space.
And I think that's what a lot of people do. There's a lot of blame on, well, I can't do this because of this, and I can't do this because of this, and this happened, and I'm here because of that. Like, no. Yeah. Like, yeah, all that might be true, but at the end of the day, you're the one that can do something about it.
And people owe me this, and people owe me that, and I'm owed by these people because the government's supposed to give me this and that, and this is wild. That's more of a wild mind state to have than the mind state of trying to get yourself out of it.
Yeah.
But let's play this clip, man. See,
all right.
I hope I'm playing the right clip, but see what he said about the Jewish individuals.
I can meditate, I can study and say, hey, I don't have a problem with Jewish culture. I don't have a problem with what Jewish people have done to my people. I don't have a problem with the fact that the Jewish people have bought. I can say that, but I do. And I own my right, and I own my anger. And I'm gonna keep that anger as an energy to wake me up until it changes. You're not going to back me down until it changes. I'm not clarifying nothing, TMZ. No, I'm not talking specifically about businessmen. I'm talking about you, TMZ. I'm talking about the media also. I'm talking about the entire culture.
Well, goddamn.
What you said that for now?
That's brutal, man.
Let's hear another clip. I think I played the wrong one. Let's hear another one.
It's like if a black man is caught with something in the car or something, everybody in the car gonna go to jail with him, right? But if a black man can play basketball or rap, only he gets the record deal. So meaning like if one black man does something bad, all the other blacks get caught with him. If one black man does something good, nobody else gets nothing with him. It's a reverse for the Jewish people, right? If a Jewish person could repeatedly fucks me on a deal, it's just them. It's just the businessman. It's not the people. It's not nobody else. But if a Jewish person does good, all of their people eat with them. That's one of the flips. I got to tell you something.
Nah.
Where is a black guy that has a Jewish person signed to them? Point it out. Tell me that. Where's a black person that's signed to a Jewish person? All of them. Basically 90.
I didn't know until he had the conversation that all record labels are owned by Jewish individuals.
Most are.
I don't have.
Yeah, here's the thing. Though, there's one thing that he said that stood out to me, though.
Talk to him.
That's completely fucking wrong.
Talk.
Where he said that if black man gets pulled over, everybody in the car is going to go to jail, right? Which is not false. But he said, but if a Jewish person fucks a black guy over in a thing, it's whatever. Those are completely different things,
Yeah.
completely different things. Neither one right, but completely different things. But when he said that black man being a rapper or a basketball player gets celebrated or gets pulled up, nobody else benefits. But if a Jewish person does the whole, other people do, that's community.
That's true.
If I get really wealthy and I share that with, even if it's just other fucking white people, right? I'm distributing that. Whereas if I don't and I keep it all to myself, then nobody else benefits from that either. That's a difference in that community mindset.
And that's the black community.
Right.
Because if you think about it, why are black people even talking about we're struggling when we have Kanye is worth $11 billion. He's the richest black man in the United States.
Right.
Michael Jordan's $1 billion. But where is the wealth being distributed at?
Right.
Though? So,
but that's the thing with capitalism. Like, people say the same thing with like Elon Musk or any of these guys, which I don't get, because I don't expect them to share shit with me. Like, whether you earned it or got it,
expectation.
it's not mine.
Yeah.
And so if you want to share it, fucking sweet.
Yeah.
If you don't, well, it's yours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You work for it, it's yours.
And the whole thing, here's my thing with the Jewish people. We make jokes and shit, but really the level of anti-Semitism that's like under the surface in the U.S. is insane. There's so much, especially
when did that word come about? Anti-Semitic.
It's been around a while.
I haven't. I'm just not hearing it.
It's surfacing more now. It's becoming this more prevalent thing, but it's been around, and partially because of that, because Jewish people have run the bulk of the entertainment industry, the bulk of
Disney. They own Disney. They own
banks, all that shit, right? And so, do you think that's because of where they're at now, or because their grandparents made some really fucking smart business decision, or great grandparent, great whatever?
That's what happened. The people in the previous life,
Right.
they made smart business decisions.
And it's like people get pissed at trust fund kids. Well, they're rich. Well, their parents worked for it, or their great grandparents, somebody in their lineage worked for that shit and just passed it down. Like, I don't get mad. Yeah, like spoiled little asshole trust fund kids, I want to punch in their fucking mouth, but it's not because they're rich. It's because they're fucking entitled little douchebags.
I'm jealous of trust fund kids because I wish I was one.
Jealous, but I'm not saying like I don't think that they like, well, they don't deserve it. I'm like, well, maybe not, but somebody gave it to them. You know, they felt like they did. In regards to that, but that's my whole thing with like anything with the Jewish people in any type of control. It's like, is there something to it? Is it some Illuminati? That's kind of what a lot of that nods to. But just historically, like in the early days of settling fucking America, like you had a lot of Jews. They were the ones opening banks. They were the ones opening a lot of these businesses.
Yeah.
And that shit in department stores. You know, they just historically, for whatever reason, have been really, really good business people. Like outstanding.
And I don't even think I've seen, I don't see Jewish people just like see them.
Not here in the South. New York and shit.
New York and L.A.
Yeah.
I'm just going to see them.
Like especially the Hasidic Jews and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. It's weird. And I feel like that rant with him, and a lot of what comes up, people falsely equate things, especially things that are viewed as not being fair.
Yeah.
You know, and they blame, it's that blaming other people for shit. Like, yeah, okay, so let's say Jewish people control all of the media and all of like whatever. What the fuck are you gonna do about it? Nothing.
You got one dude. You got to create your own.
Yeah, and because of these Jewish businessmen, how much money has he made?
He's worth $11 billion off doing contracts with all Jewish people.
Exactly. So what the fuck's he bitching about?
Now, if it was on the other way around, not being on the racist thing, but do he think the people that's not Jewish that consider themselves not receptive to black people, would they allow him to be in that position to make $11 billion?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. They wouldn't even give him the opportunity to put his art.
And there's
out.
other elements there for sure, but as a whole, like that's just, I don't know. It's people that rally against. I'm conflict, right? Because people can rally and make change, but there's certain things you're not going to change.
Yeah.
You're not going to usurp the Jewish hand on banking and stuff in the States. You just, unless you can create like a dictatorship and just take it. But like in the capitalistic society, you're not.
You
changing
can't
that
take
shit.
it. You
No.
can't take it. But I see America trying to become more of a communist. country.
I concur
It's
there.
softer than
Yeah.
It's softer than butter around
Yeah.
here.
So, anyways, I get what I get what he's saying with some of it, but I just think he's off base with his comparisons and where he's approaching it from.
Yeah, me too. I agree with what you're saying. I feel as if they took that interview down off the internet. The people did, because he was going for 3 hours and 25 minutes. He was going
See,
crazy.
that shit to me is just, it's not fair. That's all it is. It's it's a kid being like, it's not fair that it blah, 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 blah. It's
Yeah.
like, fuck you, man. Like, and don't get me wrong, people say what the fuck they want and think what like, it doesn't bother me.
Freedom
I'm
of
just like,
speech again.
yeah,
There you go.
exactly. But if you want my opinion on it, I think he's a fucking tool. But now he's a goddamn good producer. Jesus.
Yeah, he's a good producer. He's a damn good producer.
He's a damn good producer.
He's pretty good at making technology and shoes, but I can't pay the price. I can't pay $400 for my feet to feel like I'm walking on
But
pillows.
that's a big, okay. But American culture and how we look at things, people will be like, fuck Kanye, I'm never listening to his shit again. Why? Why are those two?
Fuck R. Kelly.
Together.
I'm never listening to his shit again.
Okay, fine. But does that mean he didn't make any good music? I don't like I don't like anything in his catalog. But but does that mean he wasn't talented, not creative?
Fucker was fucking amazing, man.
Right.
Make love to one of his songs.
Yeah. Right.
Play some of his. Make a sex playlist. Yeah. R. Kelly. Well, it sounds funny now.
That's all I was about to say.
It sounds a little funny now. It's not.
Yeah. No, I got you. But it's like actors, anything that comes like with Kevin Spacey and all that bullshit. I don't know if you heard about that. Like, he's a goddamn good actor. I'll watch his movies. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, me too.
Because they're completely separate things for me. Like a person can be a giant piece of shit, but still be good at what they do.
You gotta remove the. But social media has ran it all together, because we see people all day, every day from Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. So, but you got to be able to move church from state, religion from school, art from the ignorant individual that you paying attention to. So, you got to be able to pick and pick sides.
And if you don't, and you get mad at shit all the time, you're just gonna always be mad.
And then their outcome of their life, or the situations they've been through, is affecting you. That I don't got the energy for that.
Because I can tell you right now, there's nothing you could say or joke to me about that's gonna like make me mad at you. I might be like, whatever, dude, give me a fucking dick, and I might leave, but I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna seethe over it, and
Yeah.
So I mean, no, it's different. The irony of that is, I'm still really defensive of people I care about because they're very few. But like, I'll joke about shit all day long, but if I feel like you're actually disrespecting like my wife, then we have a fucking problem.
Yeah, we have a problem.
But that's just because you're disrespecting something I care about. You disrespect me all fucking day. Like, I don't give a shit, because I know what I'm worth. Not much, but I mean, I have my own intrinsic value. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like, anything you say to me, I don't fucking care. Like, I know who I am, and I know what I am, and you know, all that shit. That's why I can make fucking like stupid ass gay jokes all the time, like, because I'm hyper secure, and my people will be like, well, whatever. Like, no, like guys that are like the most homophobic dudes are the dudes that are probably a little bit like liking some dicks on the inside.
Oh yeah.
But for me, like, people are like, well, how could you joke like that? Like, because I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you could think I'm the gayest dude you have ever met, and I don't give a shit, because I know I'm not. I know I'm not gay.
I know. Like, how much does caring have an effect on our life?
A lot.
Over caring about shit that don't even mean shit.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying, man. Emotional attachment complicates your life, or it can overly complicate. Like, what you choose to invest your emotion in is what's going to affect you the most. And so, like, if you're an insecure motherfucker, the shit that people say to you is going to affect you a whole lot more, and you're going to obsess and whatever. But it's because you haven't made peace with whoever you are.
You give too much of a shit about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like you have to accept yourself for where you're at. Like, do some like looking inside of yourself. And if you're a piece of shit, be like, you know what? I'm kind of a piece of shit. And then you choose, do I still want to be a piece of shit, or do I want to try to work better at it?
And that's the inner peace that you can have at I'm going to stay this shithole, or I'm going to be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's choosing them. If there's a theme for this fucking show, it's fucking choose.
Ooh.
Know yourself and choose some shit.
Not the world is yours. The choice is yours.
Choice. Dude, that's the shit right there.
The choice is yours.
The choice
man.
is yours.
When we doing this again, Steve, man?
Anytime.
Anytime.
As long as I don't have my kids.
Man. Oh, okay. Let me find something to play that we can ride out to, man, at the end of the podcast.
So, dude, I know we're kind of winding down, but just sincerely, thanks for having me on, man. This has been fun.
Hey, I want you to come back soon.
Yeah.
Got to do it, man.
Yeah. After well, that's, have to wait till you get all your hate mail. Like, that racist motherfucker's on there.
Nah, the people in the comment section ain't going to do that.
Oh, I'm kidding.
They got to come on over. Well, I might remove the comment section for this podcast. Should I do that?
Nah, man. People say their shit.
Okay. Say y'all shit in the comment section, man. Hit me up and tell me y'all interested in what y'all want me to do and elevate with the show. Me and Steve will be back, man. I want to play. You got a song? You got something you want to request, Steve?
Nah, man. I'm easy. I like all this shit.
You
Play
like
some R. Kelly.
I got that on tap too.
Yeah, Trapped in the Closet.
We're gonna play some.
That was R. Kelly, right? Trapped in the Closet. That shit.
Trapped in the Closet. Let me see if I can pull that up right quick. I liked R. Kelly though, man, but I was more into his free. Not free R. Kelly. Not free him. He was playing with little children.
Oh shit.
But we're gonna get with some R. Kelly right now, man. And we out, man. Peace, love, plenty of abundance. Make sure you go get you some money. Chill.
I like that. You like that?
Here's another one.
And another one.
And another one.
And another one.
You must be used to me spending and all that sweet whining and dining. Well, I'm fucking you tonight.
There's another one. And another one. What? Some say the X make the sex spectacular. Make me lick you from your neck to your back to your shivering, tongue delivering, chills up that spine, that ass is mine. Skip the wine and the candlelight, no crystal tonight. It's alright with you, we fucking. Deja vu, the blood spark, finger fucking in the park, pissing off Bacardi Dark. Remember when I used to play between your
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.